Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carolyn and this is my Flosstube channel, Carolyn Stitches, a channel about cross stitch and any other hobbies that I may be working on. Today is Monday, October 31st, 2022. Happy Halloween. I got my Halloween shirt on, just hanging out. Filming this early. I took today off. I'll get into it. I know it's a Monday and I'm filming early in the morning, but I took the day off, long weekend. I'll share that in a bit. Husband is out at physical therapy and he's got some errands to run, so I'm taking the opportunity to film in my normal spot, which I'm happy to be back in my normal spot. I have some Halloween decorations up. So let's see here. I would like to say welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for stopping by and sharing my cross stitching with me and seeing what I'm up to. And welcome back to all my existing subscribers. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm getting very close to 1,000 subscribers, which I'm very excited about. And I plan on doing a giveaway. I was digging through my patterns about a week or so ago, just looking through them and seeing what I may have a duplicate of, which I did, or things that just don't inspire me anymore, or my tastes have changed, or I know what I like to stitch, what I don't like to stitch. So I pulled out some patterns that I will set aside for a giveaway in maybe a fabric or two. So when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm planning a giveaway. So hopefully we'll get to that soon. And when we do, and I look forward to it. So what's been going on this past month? I've been spending time down at the cupboard stitching with some friends. And then this past weekend, Wednesday, I drove up to Ocala, Florida to the Brick City Cross Stitch Shop's Bare Bones Retreat. It's called the Bare Bones Retreat because it's just stitching. It's in the meeting space of a local hotel and it's about 30 people. And you just stitch. Stitching room is open 24 hours and you stitch, and that's all you do. And you visit with all the ladies and take a trip over to the store and shop, go out to dinner, go out to lunch. But it's just 3 days of stitching. So I went up Wednesday. My friend Alicia, the Fanciful Flamingo, she came up and that was her first retreat. And I know she had fun. I had a good time with her. I got to meet some people that I follow on Instagram and they follow me on Instagram. So I got to meet Felicia, FA Quilts, I believe, on Instagram. I got to meet Jody and sit and chat with her, Simply Kids Ocala on Instagram. I caught up with my friend Stitchy Linda. Linda, she's Stitchy Linda on Instagram. Chatted with Chrissy, finally a farm girl. Got to see one of her new releases, which she showed it, and then she's like, oh, I'm releasing it Sunday. And Sunday I was up, add to cart, and I got it. It was so cute. It's the next one, Santa Matilda or Matilda Santa. So cute. Her little Matilda mouse in a little Santa outfit. I just couldn't resist. So I bought that one on Sunday morning when I woke up when she made it available. Got a sneak peek at one of her next designs. I sat up way past my bedtime Friday night chatting with Melissa from Neely's Needle Nest. I stayed up too late, Melissa, Friday night chatting with her. We had a lovely chat, and of course her and I now have a stitch along planned, which I'll get into later. I met some wonderful ladies at my table. Kathy, wonderful lady, quilter and stitcher. We had a great chat with her. Melanie, who I'll probably be seeing again at a retreat in 2 weeks. And then a mother-daughter who came up from the Orlando area, Cheryl and Jennifer. I had a lovely chat with them. They were just there on Saturday and had a lovely chat with them on Saturday. Nice visit and stitching. So there's just so many ladies there. Good time. Jean, the owner, puts on a great retreat, and I've already got the list for next year's retreat and telling my husband I'm attending at least 2. She does them 4 times a year, and so I'm hoping to attend at least 2 of them next year. So I did get a lot of stitching done, which I will share with you. I've had a lot of starts and finishes, and that's it. It's all been new starts and finishes. Didn't work on any whips, new starts and finishes. I have a lot of haul from the shop and plans. So this might be a long video, so let's get into it. new starts and finishes. Let's maybe go through these in the order that I did them. I did work on the Happy Halloween by Hands On Design. Not Happy Halloween. What was this? The costume, mystery costume stitch along by Hands On Design. This is the called for fabric. Oh, I can't remember what it was. It was an 18 count or 16 count Ada. I think it was hand dyed by Stephanie. So I did get that stitched. Called for DMC. Very cute. And then the next one I worked on, I started, and this was one, Alicia and I were down at the cupboard and she wanted to start it. And I was like, I'll start it with you. Let's start it together. Like she had just got it. So I picked this up at StitchCon from the trunk show because I had seen this stitched online where somebody changed the colors, did a color conversion, and that's what I wanted to do with it too. So it's the Primrose Cottage Stitches Happy Halloween. And it is, you know, white and orange pumpkins. I did a thread conversion and I used Victorian Motto sampler flosses and a Owl Forest embroidery floss. So my black, I'm looking for my flosses here. I had some leftover Owl Forest embroidery floss. So I used the black for the black in here and this orange color for this one pumpkin. And then I used some Victorian Motto sampler flosses. Let's see here. What is it? Rare Orchid, Juicy Orange, Desert Turquoise, and Shaded White. I used Victorian Motto sampler flosses and did a conversion. And I stitched this on a 32 count Murano Care. It's a cotton model synthetic blend in mustard. It's from Hobby Lobby. This was in a gift bag I got in my Smalls Exchange. Was it my gift? I think it might have been in my gift bag as well, my Smalls Exchange, or it's something I picked up. But I stitched it on there and did the floss conversion. And I didn't put the bows on the shoes. So I added the purple socks and then the 3 different color pumpkins. So I'm very happy with the way that turned out. Everything back in its bag. And then at retreat, I started, I had grand plans. I thought, wait, probably I'll do this. We go to retreat and you bring way too many things with you. I brought like 8 projects. I don't know what I was thinking. I brought like 8 projects and I know better. But I had grand plans of like Thursday morning for half day I was going to stitch on one thing, and Thursday afternoon another, Friday morning one thing, Friday afternoon another, same thing, like to 2 projects a day. But it didn't happen. I started stitching on this one project on Thursday, and I started stitching on it in the hotel room Thursday morning before we could go downstairs for the room. And I got part of it stitched, and then I was just like, I just kept stitching it, and it was so much fun, and it was so easy to stitch, and I was like, I'm determined to finish this on Thursday. And I would have finished it on Thursday, but I ran out of floss. So it is Bent Creek, the Thankful Owls, and I had stitched everything on Thursday, and I got to Thursday evening, and I ran out of floss in the bottom of the one owl. I needed like 3 rows of the color for her belly, and I had ran out of floss because all I did was just bring like a couple strands. When I pulled the colors, I didn't bring like a whole bobbin with me or a whole skein. And so I ran out of floss, and my friend Stitchy Linda, she came to my rescue and she's like, what color is it? And the next day she brought me the color, so I finished it up quickly on Friday morning. This is just on a piece of coffee tea dyed Mystery Lugana that I coffee tea dyed that was in my stash. So this is the Thankful Owls by Bent Creek, and I stitched that on Thursday. I even managed to get the back stitching in and sewed on the bead. It's a very cute pattern. I've already passed the pattern along. That's why I don't have it to show. Another new, okay, retreat. So at retreat, I did another new start, and this is an old one. This is a kit, Cat's Eyes. It's an old Pegasus Originals kit. You find it on the second-hand market, or maybe in L&S we still have it, but it's just the cat eyes. And it came with the floss, and it came with an Ada and I just didn't want to stitch on the Ada. Plus it's such an old kit, the Ada's a little yellowed. So I went down to Brick City and I picked up a piece of white Jobeline, and I'm stitching it on that. So on Friday, I started this kit and I stitched the first one, just the first cat in it. And I'm using the DMC that came in the kit, which is fine, and I wish I would have kept this. But when I got to the white, I pulled the DMC that was in the kit. I mean, this kit is from 1996, so it's one of those things you got to be careful with in these kits. So it has all the flosses, and all the colors are good, but it had a big bundle of white. And when I pulled the white and I laid it against my white fabric, the white was all discolored. The floss was all discolored. It was white and brown and cream, and it had discolored over the years, probably by sitting in the packaging with the other flosses. So the white was so discolored. I wish I would have kept it to show you. I threw it away. It was horrible. So one of the ladies just had a piece of B5200 that they gave me so I could finish the eyes. So that's the first one. And I'm going to finish stitching this one and donate it for the shelter, Adopt a Cat Foundation in Palm Beach, Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida, where I adopted my cats from. They did reach out and asked if I had anything for their, like a piece of my cross stitch or something for their annual auction to benefit the shelter. And I said, not this year, but next year I will get you something. So I'm going to do cat's eyes and get that finished and get it framed, and I'll donate it to the shelter for next year's auction. Oh, I did work on one whip. Sorry, I lied. I did work on one whip. I worked on Quaker Fox by the Workbasket. I pulled this out one night and worked on it a little bit. And I'm doing this one 1/1 on 25 count, just a hunter green Lugana. And so I think I came down and did the legs, and I did a little bit of the white. So that's all. I worked on that. And for this one, I'm also doing a Victorian motto sampler conversion. I do have 2 colors that I substituted out for it. So I worked on that for a little bit, just one night. I'm having an issue, and I know I've mentioned this before. I'm just having an issue burying my threads on 1/1. And I know people have given me hints of like stitch over the flosses, stitch over the ends and all that. And I'm trying different ways. It's just, I put a little time into it. I'll get back to it. So that's my Quaker Fox. Put it away. Okay, my last new start in WIP. I started this before retreat, and I worked on it, and then I worked very hard prior to retreat to get a part of it outlined. So I was like, oh, I'll just like fill all this in at retreat and get it all filled in. And this was the very last project I worked on retreat. I worked on this one I worked on it a little bit in the hotel room, and then I worked on it Saturday night, or Saturday, the last day of retreat, and did a lot of fill-in, which was good because I became very chatty on Saturday, so it was good to work on this one. So this is a new start, and it's Birds of a Feather, Remember Me. It's an older chart. You might be able to find it secondhand market, maybe out of print. I think it's out of print, but you can. There's still some floating around. Remember Me, and I'm stitching it on a piece of Mystery 28 count Lugana. I think it is a piece of Be Stitch Me Friday Night Fight Night fabric, but I'm not sure. I don't have a label or anything with it. All I know is it has 28 count Lugana written on the edge, and like a number 214 over here. So I'm thinking it's Friday Night Fight Night from Be Stitch Me fabric. So this is where I am. I had the house stitched, and I had the all this stuff. I worked real hard before retreat getting the skeleton in and getting the coffin predominantly outlined. And so I was at retreat in the hotel. I finished this in, and I filled in this much of the coffin, And then I worked on some of the other mice and sneaks and got those in. And last night I finished up his legs and came over here and finished up the coffin. So that's where I am on that one. Very happy with the progress. The colors are much brighter than I thought they were going to be, but I'm liking it. It's a fun stitch. So I think maybe tonight I'll continue working on it. Maybe I'll give it this week. And then I think I'm ready to switch over to some Christmas stuff. Okay. Let's get into plans before I get into haul. So plans, let me get it. And one of these is has some haul in here too. Okay. Plans. Okay, I'm going to start a stitch along with my StitchCon friends from my 2022 StitchCon table, Weekend B. My friends and I are going to do a Heart and Hand Tiny Town stitch along, and I'm going to start the Christmas Tiny Town, and we're going to start this on our next monthly Zoom call, which is in like 2 or 3 weeks. Our next monthly Zoom call, I'm going to start Heart and Hand Christmas Tiny Town, and I picked up a piece of Friendship Green by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So I'm going to do it on this piece of Friendship Green. So that's plans that are going to be for this month. And maybe when I finish that one, I'll just jump in and do the next one and try to get all the tiny towns done. Another plan that I do want to start here soon, next month, is Merry Christmas by Blackbird Designs. This was a gift from Joanie, from Joanie Loves Stitching. She stitched it and she showed it on her page, her channel, and I was like, the colors were so vibrant on the stitch. I was like, that's gorgeous, that's beautiful. You know, I wouldn't have ever thought to do it based on this picture because it's so dull and muted. So Joanie sent me the pattern, and thank you very much, Joanie. So when I was up at Brick City Cross Stitch, I picked up out of the remnant pack, the remnant bin, I got a piece of 30 count Weeks Dye Works parchment, which is the perfect size. And then I pulled flosses for the project. And then, of course, not all the flosses were available because it calls for a lot of Gentle Arts, and there was a lot of flosses missing, so I did some Weeks Dye Works conversions and converted some to some Weeks Dye Works. So I'm gonna hopefully start that soon, probably next weekend or something. I'll get that started. Not really a sampler person, but I did like the colors in this, and here I am saying I'm not really a sampler person, but wait till you see some of the stash. I have dipped my toe into the sampler world. So the next plan I have in this stash is I was sitting down when I went up to Brick City. Brick City has like a wall of fabric, 14 count, 16 count, some 18 count, 28, 32 count Luganas, 28, 32 count linens, 36 count, 40 count. Like, she has 2 walls of fabric. It's amazing the amount of fabric she has, and she's got good quantity, like yardage. So there's big pieces of fabric. She cuts to order, and she serges the edges, which I just love because then I can go back and sit down and immediately start working on it. So I knew going up there, I had one project in mind that I wanted fabric for, which was the Teresa Kogu Let Love Rain. I wanted to get fabric for that, and I picked up a piece of 32 count Lugana in Silver Moon. So I'm doing on 32 count, and this thing's going to be huge, big piece of fabric. So I'm doing it on 32 count Lugana Silver Moon. And I came back and I was talking to Melissa, Neely's Needle Nest, and we got talking, and she's like, oh, what'd you get? And I showed her that I got the fabric. And we were saying she wants to do Let Love Rain too. It's on her thing to start to do Let Love Rain also. And so we agreed that come January 1, as our new year, new start, we're going to start Let Love Rain. And I can't wait to start that. I'm looking for, yeah, here's the picture. Let Love Rain. So me not being a sampler person, this is a sampler that I fell in love with. And I'm going to start with Melissa on January 1. So if you'd like to join us, please join us. The more the merrier. I know this has been a stitch along forever, but we're going to start ours January 1. Okay, let's do the rest of the haul I got on my trip. So on my way up on Wednesday, I took Wednesday off from work. It's a 4-hour drive for me to go up to Ocala. I took Wednesday off from work and left early and stopped in Leesburg, Florida at the little cross-stitch store in Leesburg, Florida called Gary Lee Sligh Fiber Arts, I believe. It's in Leesburg. Cute little shop. He's got some new stuff. He's got a lot of old stuff. He's got like 2 or 3 tables with bins of like thousands of old cross-stitch patterns to dig through and discover stuff. And then he's got some new stuff, and he's got a little selection of fabrics. Plus he has things for like weaving, some yarn, and then local artists sell some stuff in his shop. So I dug through his bins of patterns, and I found this Heart and Hand Pumpkin Hunt. Let the Hunt Begin. I know there's like an Easter one too, of like Let the Hunt Begin, but I never saw the pumpkin one. I like the pumpkin one. I found Santa Bobblehead by Imaginating. I do have these bobbleheads. I think I have a snowman one and a witch one. So I just wanted to round it out, and you put it on like a candlestick. So Santa Bobblehead. And then the Cricut Collection Great Pumpkin Conspiracy. I picked that one up. And this one I didn't realize, the hand-dyed flosses. It has a lot of hand-dyed floss that it calls for here in the leaves. And it calls for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 silken colors flosses in this. And those are like $8 a skein, silken colors. You get a lot of yardage on them, but I'm not going to pay like $8 a skein for like 9 colors of floss. So I will just either use a DMC conversion, or I'll convert it to weeks or Victorian motto or something if I want to try to find something to get the same variegation. So I picked those up from Gary's. And then at Jean's Brick City Cross Stitch, I only got a couple patterns, but I got a lot of fabric, because fabric, she puts out a lot of fabric at 50% off. And it's stuff that either she bought too much of, she has too much yardage of, or it's like colors that just aren't selling. But she puts out a big table of fabric at 50% off, and you just can't resist. So the patterns I got, if you saw on Instagram, I've been talking about, or I posted a post about the Cottage Garden Year in the Woods. The final one finally came out, and I don't want to do all 12. It's very kind of country in a way, and it doesn't fit in my house at all. I don't want to do all 12, but I do like them, and I would like to do some of them. So I looked through them now that all 12 are released, and I picked out 4 that I like the best to represent each season. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to stitch like all 4 on one piece of fabric, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 by 2. Or if I'm going to stitch them individually, or maybe just stitch them in a row, which I think will be a little difficult to find a fabric that goes with all of them. But at least I have the patterns, and I'll figure it out. It's not like I'm going to start it tomorrow or next week, but I have them. So the first one I did for spring is I got the rabbit. Sorry for the glare, the jackrabbit. And then for the summer, I did the bald eagle, which I really like the bald eagle. And for fall, the bat. And I don't have the 4th one yet, which is the one that just came out, which is the deer, which I'm doing for winter. So at some point I'll sit down and do those. So here I am again with the samplers of a lady who doesn't do samplers. I picked up this pattern, What Remains Is Love, Blackbird design. And once again, I like the colors. I like the simple saying. It's a small pattern. It's only like 9 inches by 9 inches on 35 count when you stitch it up, so it's small. And I picked up a piece of 32 count Lagana called Everything Else. Color's not doing too good. So it's a piece of 32 count Lagana called Everything Else. I don't know who the dyer is. It doesn't say. So we'll do that. Maybe I'll start this one in like January. Treat it like a Valentine's Day thing. Okay, so fabric, stack of fabric. And let's see here. This was all off the 50% off table. And I got either fat quarters of it, or if it had like a piece cut out, I was just like, just cut me that piece off. Big enough piece, I can do something with it. So this one is a piece of 32 count Lagana. I can't read the handwriting. Vetris or something. It's a good neutral, some modeling. A piece of 16 count Ada called Truffle. My light's washing things out. This is pretty pink. Yeah, my light's washing things out. Sorry about that. My lighting's not too great today. A piece of 14 count Ada called Mind Blown. It's very kind of gray with a little purpley gold tones to it. That's a piece of Mind Blown. And see, I just cut off the edge a piece, whatever is there, big enough piece to do something on. This is a piece of 32 count linen by Fiber on a Whim called Persimmon. Beautiful color. A piece of 18 count Ada called Cabernet. Long thin piece. Oh, I do have something in mind for this. This one does have a purpose, and it's not written down on here. I'm doing the Amy Brucken We're All a Little Baddie. Amy Brucken, We're All a Little Baddie, and I'm doing it as one long piece. So I'm not doing it as like 3 of the characters up top, We're All a Little Baddie, and 3 of the characters on the bottom. I'm going to do like 3 of the characters, then We're All a Little Baddie, then 3 of the characters. And so I'm doing it on one long piece. So I already, it's not written on there. So I need to set that aside so I know what that's for. I got to put it with the pattern. Yep. And this last fabric, Alicia the Fancy Flamingo, a friend of hers, messaged and said, oh, do they have a piece of fabric for this new pattern that was released? And it was stitched on this dark green fabric. And so Jean brought over from the shop like a couple pieces of dark green that were on the sale table. And when I saw them, I was like, oh my God, I love that fabric. I don't know why I didn't see it. I love it. So I got a piece of this 32 count linen called Woodland. I think it's a picture of this plus. Woodland. It's very mottled. It's much deeper. My stuff's getting so washed out. It is a very deep, deep, deep green. Much darker than what it's showing on camera. I'm going to stitch on this, one of the Hello from Liz Matthews, her tree that has like the icicles on it. So I'm going to use this for the Hello from Liz Matthews icicle tree. I have that on order. And then also got it in a piece of 28 count, which isn't as heavily modeled. So I might do something Christmassy on that one. Let's see. Okay, so that was my haul from Jean at Brick City Cross Stitch. And then I have some haul that came in the mail and stuff I got from the Cross Stitch cupboard. I did sign up for Kitten Stitchers. Oh, I didn't sign up. I bought Kitten Stitcher, her Halloween box that she had out, and I got the Halloween box in. And it's a nice selection of little Halloween patterns. Some of them I will probably stitch. Some of them I might give away. But it had this like little haunted Halloween stand-up thing in it. Came with a piece of Cauldron's Mist Chenille from Dames of the Needle. A pack of Kathy Barrick labels to stick on the back of your finished cross stitch pieces. So you can, your frame cross stitch, you can say what linen, threads, then when you did it, who stitched it. You can stick these on the back of your cross stitch pieces, which is really nice. Some stickers. This is a pattern from Witch Village by the Bee Company. So it has, these are like wooden beads. And it looks like you stitch it. You get the pattern and you stitch it. And you have the little beads and a little piece of linen. There's that one. Not sure if I want to do that or not. Plum Street Samplers. Grimm's Haunt. Kind of like that one. It's got the little black cat. Scarlet House. Ghosts and Goblins was in the pack. La-di-da, Witch Hazel. And a hello from Liz Matthews, the Pumpkin House. Sorry, the Pumpkin House. And this looks like it's two different linens. Yeah, it uses Haunted from Picture This Plus for the upper and Beige from Weeks Dye Works from the lower. And it calls for an MPI, but she gives a DMC conversion. And yeah, she's saying the fabrics have to be the same count, sew them together, and how to do that with the same count. So I like this one, but I think if I stitch it, I may only stitch like the top half. I'm not sure about this, but maybe I won't, maybe I will, maybe I won't, and maybe a giveaway. We'll see. We'll see at some point. I'll keep them in the stash until I decide what I want to do with them. So that was the Kitten Stitcher Halloween box that she had earlier this month. With the patterns. And okay, last bit of haul. And this is a lot of haul. See, sometimes I don't show you all my haul, but I went to retreat and I got some good haul. I finally was able to get my hands on these. Judith Kirby's Victorian House number 9 and 15. 9 and 15. And these happen to be kits that I got off of eBay. I'm not using the kit fabric at all. I just wanted the pattern. So I saw these at StitchCon, and a lot of people had it where they stitched the two houses together. So one piece of fabric, I think they stitch it like this. One piece of fabric, and you stitch the houses both together on one piece of fabric, and it was really cute. And there was like 2 or 3 of these at StitchCon as finishes, and I absolutely loved them. And this pattern is just, it's out of print. It's a little hard to get your hands on, but I was lucky. I got lucky and I got them. So maybe next year I'll start these and get these stitched up, but I'm not going to use the kit fabric or floss. I just wanted the pattern. And then down at the cupboard, I found, well, I didn't find this. Mary, one of the employees, was looking for something, and she's like, oh, I don't think this Halloween belongs in, like, you know, Easter or something. She found it down in a thing, and I was like, oh, what is that? And it's a Sam Sayre spook line. So I had been looking for this one, and it was down at the cupboard, just happened to be in the wrong spot. So I got spook line. That is adorable. You can't get Sam Sayre stuff. It's just what's out there nowadays. She retired last year, I believe, and there were still some patterns I wanted to get, but can't get them anymore. So now it's all secondhand market. So Spook Line by Sam Sayre. Really like that one. I'm not much of a white stitcher. I don't like stitching a lot of white, but this is small to stitch, so that's really cute. And then here I am with my samplers. I'm not a sampler girl, but I couldn't resist this one. I found this one digging at the cupboard. It's by M Designs, and it's called Floral Sampler, and I like it because it's very Art Deco, and I love the colors. So it's called Floral Sampler by M Designs. I really like that one, so I picked that one up. And Alicia picked this one up the last time she was there, and she was telling me about it, and she was like, oh, you got to see it. The colors are just amazing. They're beautiful. So-and-so, I think she said Tiger Lily finished it. And so I went down the Instagram rabbit hole and looked at the different projects, the different finishes. And this is Fox and Rabbit Mary Morgan's. And I'm sure you've seen this if you've seen some other samplers. I think Tiger Lily stitched it, and there's some others. Mary Morgan's by Fox and Rabbit. This is so vibrant in color. The colors are so vibrant. This picture doesn't do it justice, but is very bright colored, and I like bright colors. And what I did like is I saw other people, no idea what that says. Other people put different sayings here. They charted something else to say here. So I may do that. I may chart something else to put there. Or maybe I'll just put my city in town or something. So I picked this one up. Thank you, Alicia. I enable you. You enabled me. I bought this. Not sure when I'm going to start this. I think Alicia and I may sit down at one point and figure out when we're going to start it. And then last thing to share with you, Karen, the Cross Stitch Cupboard, has a ton, like 3 bins of samplers kitted. Like, they're all kitted up. They have fabric, they have floss, some have DMC, some have silks, different linens, a lot of high 40 count linens, 36 count linens, but she's just has all these samplers kitted up. And some of them are probably old out of print, but a lot of samplers kitted up that she has, and she's selling them as kits. I was digging through them, and I did find this one that I really liked. I like the saying on it, and it's a simple sampler. And it is by Milady's Needle, and it's the Ann Smith Blockley 1834 reproduction sampler. And it says, time by moment steals away, first the hour and then the day. Small the daily loss appears, yet it soon amounts to years. Thus another year's flown, now it is no more our own. So I really like that saying. The only thing is here for loss, it looks like lures. Daily lures appears. I want to say loss, so I'm going to rechart that just so it reads correctly to me. But she did say, don't expect symmetry. You know, it's not symmetrical in different areas. Things aren't evenly spaced. So I'm like, okay, I'll deal with that. You pointed it out, I'll deal with it. And the kit came with a piece of 36 count ancient and the DMCs. So I set this out. I'm like, that's an easy enough sampler. We'll get that started. So maybe that's one I'll start soon. Everything's going to be started soon. I do want to do a lot of new starts because I'm itching to do new starts, but then I want to get back into some of my whips. Oh, and I got this bag. Don't you love this bag? I think this is the Teresa Kogu fabric. And I got it from Como Stitches. Jess at Como Stitches. Love this bag. Very nice bag. Beautiful bag. That's all I have for you. Pretty quick video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I had a blast at retreat. I'm looking forward to my next retreat, which is in 2 weeks. I can't wait. And then I'll be down at the cupboard, I think, on the 19th of November. And then I'm probably going to be down there like Black Friday, Thanksgiving weekend, because I don't Black Friday shop. I think I'll just go to the cupboard and stitch. Hoping to get some new starts here. Work on my Remember Me by Birds of a Feather. I'll work on this a little longer. We'll see if it gets past today or, you know, maybe the week. And then I do want to start, probably start on the Merry Christmas one. Start on that and then do the Christmas Tiny Town this month. And then I have some Christmas. I should be good and pull out some of my Christmas whips and work on those. But thank you everyone for stopping by. I am going to get this uploaded and then relax because I am still in retreat hangover and ready to put my feet up, catch up on some shows, catch up on some Flosstube, and relax. So thank you everyone for stopping by, and I will see you next time. Bye.